When Jaws came out in 1975, it terrified audiences and became one of the most important films in history. But what fans didn't know was that the shark, famously called Bruce, was a nightmare for Steven Spielberg. The mechanical shark broke down constantly, refusing to work during key scenes. At one point, Spielberg thought his career was over. Yet, that failure turned into genius. By not showing the shark early, Spielberg built suspense, making the audience imagine something far scarier than a rubber model. What looked like a disaster became a revolutionary storytelling choice. But this was just the beginning of secrets Spielberg held on to for decades. The film's first victim, a young woman dragged under the water at night, remains one of the most chilling openings in movie history. Spielberg revealed years later that the scene worked so well because of what viewers didn't see. The actress was pulled by ropes under the surface, making her struggle look terrifyingly real. There was no shark in the shot at all, only fear and suggestion. Spielberg confessed he wanted the audience to feel like the ocean itself was alive, hunting. This set the stage for the rest of the film, where the true monster was not just the shark, but the unknown. "You're gonna need a bigger boat." It's one of the most famous movie quotes of all time, but Spielberg later admitted it wasn't in the original script. Actor Roy Scheider improvised it on set after hearing crew members jokingly complain about the tiny support boat being too small. Spielberg loved it so much, he left it in, and it became a line that perfectly captured the movie's theme, facing something bigger, scarier, and beyond human control. The most unforgettable part of Jaws was born from frustration and humor, not planning. Most people assume Spielberg was fearless making such a terrifying film, but in interviews he revealed untold is ills. He was just as scared as the characters on screen. He had never directed on the open ocean before. The sea was unpredictable, the sun burned his crew, and the equipment constantly failed. Spielberg admitted he often thought about quitting, but that same fear fueled the energy of the film. Just like the actors, he was battling something bigger than himself. In a way, the ocean became his greatest co-director, shaping a story even scarier than he imagined. Spielberg once said that Jaws was his attempt to make an aquatic Hitchcock film. Instead of constant shark attacks, he used music, suspense, and silence to build dread, just like Alfred Hitchcock did in thrillers like Psycho. The two-note theme from John Williams became the shark itself. Without ever seeing the creature, audiences felt its presence. Spielberg revealed later that this choice wasn't just artistic, it was practical. With the broken shark, the music had to carry the fear. What fans never realized is that the scariest predator in the movie was not mechanical at all. It was sound. Martha's Vineyard became the perfect shooting location for Jaws, but Spielberg confessed the locals were not happy at first. Many residents worried the film crew would disrupt their lives, and some even mocked the idea of a shark movie. But once Spielberg promised to feature locals as extras, many joined in. They played townspeople, filled the beaches, and gave the movie its authentic small-town feel. Without them, Jaws might have looked fake. Spielberg later admitted that the local support made the film possible, and most fans never realized they were watching real islanders, not just hired actors. Fans know the thrilling ending where Chief Brody blows up the shark with a rifle and oxygen tank. But Spielberg confessed this wasn't his first idea. In an earlier draft, the shark simply bled to death after being stabbed with harpoons. But Spielberg felt audiences deserved something bigger, more explosive, more unforgettable. So he went with the tank explosion. Even though some critics argued it wasn't realistic, Spielberg later said he didn't care. Realism mattered less than satisfaction. And judging by the cheering audiences in 1975, he made the right choice. Before Jaws, summer movies were not considered big events. Studios saved their serious films for fall or winter, but when Spielberg's thriller released in June 1975, lines stretched around theaters. People went back again and again, creating the first true summer blockbuster. Spielberg admitted he never expected such a cultural explosion. Jaws didn't just change his career, it changed Hollywood forever. Every big summer movie since, from Star Wars to Jurassic Park, owes its existence to this one terrifying shark. And yet, Spielberg revealed, the pressure of that success almost crushed him. Decades after filming, Spielberg revealed the one moment that still makes him emotional. When Quint tells the story of the USS Indianapolis, actor Robert Shaw delivered it in such a haunting way that the set went completely silent. Spielberg admitted he had tears in his eyes listening because the film suddenly shifted from a monster movie to a story about human survival and trauma. It was the heart of the movie, showing that the shark wasn't just a beast, but a symbol of fear that lives in all of us. Fans never realized how personal that scene was for Spielberg. After years of silence, Spielberg finally admitted the greatest secret of Jaws. The film was never really about a shark. It was about fear itself. Fear of the unknown, fear of failure, fear of something bigger than us. The broken shark forced him to make a film that lived in the imagination of the audience. And that, Spielberg said, is why it worked. Viewers created the terror in their own minds. What fans never figured out was that Jaws became terrifying not because of what it showed, but because of what it didn't. The shark may have been fake, but the fear was real. And that's what Spielberg wanted all along.